First of all, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Daniel Estulin. I'm the author of the international bestseller, The True Story of the Bilderberg Group and Shadow Masters. Just to answer your question, Representative Borghezio, Switzerland is, you went to Switzerland and you were assaulted by people in Switzerland, but Switzerland is not Europe. Switzerland is Switzerland. It's like going to the moon. It has nothing to do with Europe at all. The laws are different, the country is different, their philosophy is different. It's the epicenter of what's known as the Venetian black nobility. So Switzerland has nothing to do with anything we're seeing here on the European level. Now, Monty, to answer your other question, is a lackey who has been put there to prepare for the next stage of the banker coup when the euro crisis will be hijacked to concentrate even more power into the hands of the very people who caused this crisis in the first place. Okay. Said that simply and without mincing words. Unless we act now together as people of the planet Earth against the loathsome creatures who are trying to impose the will of the very few against the will of the many, the chain reaction disintegration of the economies of the transatlantic system is virtually inevitable. The global financial system has totally broken down. A chain reaction collapse of phony financial assets is underway across the entire region. The entire transatlantic system is imploding under the weight of $1 to $2 quadrillion in speculative financial assets, which can never be paid no matter how many multi-trillion-dollar bailouts are imposed by the Obamas, the Blairs, the Camerons, or the Sarkozys. All they can do, and this is what they're doing, is murder the population of subject nations with austerity while vaporizing any semblance of national sovereignty. This, of course, has been predicted by a forecast by American physical economist Lyndon LaRouche quite some time ago. Now, the reason we're here today is obviously to talk about Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, Goldman Sachs, and, of course, the European crisis and the euro. Now, this is a very different kind of war which we've faced before. This is an asymmetrical war in a sense that governments are not running this operation, but rather world corporations. I'll repeat this. This is an asymmetrical war. Governments are not controlling this. They have completely lost control, and you're seeing this on the world stage. It's a war, it's an operation run by world company corporations. In other words, what you're seeing right now is a government not run by corporations running the operation. Let me give an example, Italy. Now, we've seen a lot of Mario Monti on the covers of major newspapers and major magazines trying to give this unelected fool legitimacy. Now, Monti is a bastard child of Fondi financial interests. Not only is Monti a former European commissioner, but he's also an international advisor to Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest and most powerful corporations on Wall Street, as well as European chairman of David Rockefeller's Trilateral Commission, and also leading member of the Bilderberg Group. Now, Monti is a lackey, again, who has been put there to prepare the next stage of the bankers' coup in this European crisis. But he's not the only one. The new president of the European Central Bank, Mario Draghi, a former vice chairman of Goldman Sachs International, and of course the European Central Bank is now being hailed as the entity to save the Eurozone by bailing out Italy, by bailing out France, and by bailing out Spain. So you're seeing Monti, who is Goldman Sachs, who is Bilderberg, who is Trilateral Commission. You're seeing Draghi, who is Bilderberg, Sachs, Goldman Sachs, and Trilateral Commission. You're seeing Tremonti, who is member of the, obviously, the Bilderberg Group as well. So you're seeing also the same Goldman Sachs, which way back when prettied up the Greek statistics, making possible Greece's entry into the Euro group. You're seeing a pattern here, no? You have Goldman Sachs, one of the most powerful corporations on Wall Street. This is what's called the World Company Limited. It's not about one world government. It's not about an all-seeing eye. It's about corporations with a lot more power than any government on the planet. And Goldman Sachs, as Mario Borghezio said, is a very good example of that. And as much as Mario Monti will try to distance himself from his role and his position and his activities at Goldman Sachs, these things are simply inevitable. He was, he is, and he will always be a member of these private, unelected organizations who basically rule the world from behind the scenes. Now, Greek Italian, and soon to come Spanish bailouts, of course, is a facade of these operations. What they're trying to do is to blow up the system by, instead of allowing Greece to reorganize its money, they're imposing that Greece be used, that the Greek debt be bailed out by Europe. But then, as I said before, that debt is absolutely worthless. Just like the Irish debt is worthless, just like the Italian debt is worthless, just like the Spanish debt is absolutely worthless. It's garbage. It's monopoly money. So asking Europe, which is in the throes of a financial meltdown, to absorb an unpayable debt, which they never, ever can repay, means you're going for sure to destroy Europe. And it is being done on purpose because nobody, not even Barroso, who's a moron, believes that Greece, Ireland, Portugal, and Spain can be saved. Now, there are strings attached to a lot of these operations of trying to save these nations. And the strings attached to this particular bailout, which we're seeing right now, will accomplish precisely what the Eurocrats wanted all along. A closer-knit political union, as Merkel called for recently, a federal superstate at the cost of European nation-states, surrendering control over their economies to unelected United Europe dictators like Herman Van Rompuy and his moronic sidekicks, José Manuel Barroso. Now, back in 2009, at the Bilderberg conference, and I reported this in 2009 with my Bilderberg report, I said that one of the solutions to the crisis, well, the people who met at Bilderberg, and amongst them, of course, Monti and Draghi and Tremonti and all these individuals, well, the idea of creating two Europes. On the one hand, the Europe, the first division, where you have the France, Germany, etc. nations who can actually pay their way, and on the other hand, the pigs, the Spains, the Portugals, etc. And we're seeing this right now. This is one of the key plans being put together by the people from behind the scenes. I have a lot more to say, but I think I'm going to stop, as I think there are people who want to ask questions. Thank you very, very much.